Welcome back to Beer There Drunk That. We've never missed an episode in our lives, and this is the most consistent podcast in the world.
Yep. We didn't just take a 3 week hiatus.
We
Uh,
didn't because
we
we just
can
posted this week.
we cannot hear Keegan.
It's a good thing because I haven't been talking. So
Oh, there you are. Oh,
I
I
haven't
thought
been
you were
talking.
mouthing something. Boy, do
No.
I have egg on my face. Let me just tell you right now.
You should probably clean it up
Well, more accurately, I've got porter on my face. Why is that?
because you drink like a dog.
Okay, well, I all right. Well, I didn't mean for it to be an attack, but thought that was a clever way to get in the episode, but okay. Jesus. What are you guys up to? What's new since last week?
I drank some beers. Keegan's microphone stopped working.
Unless he's just mouthing things again, he's trying to get us.
Yeah, Gandalf's over there in the corner if you can see him.
I think he's just mouthing stuff to screw with us. All right, well, you go on, Donnie. What are you drinking?
I will say I'm not trying to get into the holiday spirit just yet. But the beer sounded good. So I have Don't Touch Santa's beer from One Barrel Brewing. But it's an orange pilsner, which sounded tasty to me.
Oh, cool.
I don't know what Keegan's saying, man.
We're having technical difficulties apparently. But
Can you just change your mic input to be your webcam, your computer?
Yeah, fuck this.
Keegan's been working with a broken headset for years at this point.
For those of you listening, please donate because I need a new headset.
we are just the podcast of technical difficulties. And by that, I mean it's pretty much just Keegan and I, and then Donnie coming through to fix everything.
I barely had a computer that worked for a while, so
Yeah, that's my next thing.
that was my big
Yeah,
purchase
no,
of
I'm
beer.
I'm I'm waiting on the headset. That's what I really need.
Well, Christmas is coming,
Don't talk to me.
and so is Santa.
Yeah,
Santa's
don't
on
touch
his
his
way as
beer.
well.
Don't
Don't
touch his
touch
beer.
this beer.
I heard a
I'm
rumor he doesn't like that.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
uh
I've
I'm I'm drinking one of my tasting beers, so I can't tell you what it is yet.
and
Fuck
I'm
you.
drinking out of a new water bottle, and it's pretty nice. But I'm taking it easy because this weekend I was a little
Yeah.
adventurous in the realm of alcohol and beer in a way I have not been in some time. So,
Would you
which I mean, knock on wood, all is well. But
would you care to regale us while I pour this beer?
yeah, I went to Ellicottville with my family, and that may sound a little familiar because our friend Keegan here is a big Ellicottville blueberry wheat fan.
Slut
Me
for it,
too.
even.
Yeah, he's a hussy
I
for
Yeah.
would
that.
I would do dirty
Woman of the
things.
night.
I would do dirty things
Um,
for Ellicottville on tap with some blueberries floating in
I I had so I did not have the blueberry while I was there. It just wasn't in the cards. I did a flight, but I didn't
Wasn't in
have
the
to
flight
because it's
card.
everywhere else. Yeah, but it wasn't in the flight card. Yeah. Oh, you bastard. But so while I was there, I was seeing people were drinking the blue wheat, and they had actual like good looking blueberries, and that reminded me of the time my dad and I stopped at we were coming back from a Whiskey Myers concert, and we stopped at like one of the diviest bars we've ever been to, and this place for whatever reason, like I don't think there were that many people in there, but they had the speaker system on full blast in the place. So you like couldn't hear anything. And I don't even remember if it was the Ellicottville one, but I ordered a blueberry wheat ale, and they handed it back to me with these like three or four little tiny
limp.
blueberries that clearly had been sitting out God knows how long. just floating on top. There was no head on the beer or whatever, and maybe that contributed to why it looked so weird. Where I'm like, I received this as if it was water that had an odd color with some floating
They
bits in it.
scooped it.
It was,
They had
yeah.
a bucket of beer that they scooped.
Now,
But
Luke, you got a miss pour from 3 hours earlier.
yeah, something like that, man. That was an experience. But no, Ellicottville was the exact opposite of that. Man, that place is fun.
What was the best thing
Um,
you had there?
oh, the best beer that I had was so I had to pull it up a little while ago. The orange chocolate blonde ale.
I saw that on their menu because I looked it up after you sent us the picture, and I was that spoke to me because I think orange and chocolate is a great combination of flavors.
That was it was so good. That peppermint bark stout was not fantastic, but it was interesting, but it
Really?
was not fantastic. And I was very sad about it because I had like a mint chocolate chip beer once. My uncle had it and he's never forgiven me for putting him through that. Um but yeah, that was one of our Easter beers this past Easter. So I'll
He
redeem
actually sent
myself this time, Uncle
he
David.
sends in hate mail to the podcast. It's the only person that communicates with us, and it's just Luke's uncle saying, "You asshole."
It's crazy because we don't have
No,
a
see,
PO box, and he just
yeah,
individually mails us shit.
the letters are piling up at this point. Well, um, and also that can't be true. He wouldn't be the only one reaching out because I can't tell you how many times now I have seen an alert that somebody messaged the podcast Instagram, and I'll
Whoa.
look, and it will be Matt, and one of you two is having full on conversations with my coworker, and I like see a couple of the responses. I'm like, I almost feel dirty looking through all these messages.
Dude, honestly, I
I
feel
don't
like it
think
has
it's
to be
cool.
Donnie because like I'll message him back once or twice. Shout out Matt for messaging the podcast. But
Yeah.
dude, I'll hop in. I'll see like, oh, Matt Ignatowski messaged the podcast. And so I'll go and look, and it's like the middle of a full, like you said, a full-blown conversation. And I'm like scrolling, like what I'm lost. What's happening right now?
Yeah, it's usually me. You can just text me, Matt.
Now
No,
is
there's
one of
something so wholesome about that, though.
Well, sometimes I put stuff in there that's like interesting to you guys. Like I've got a list of all the Black Friday releases for Milwaukee breweries that I'm debating which one I go to. Aside from Indeed, because I do have to pick up my bottle of beer from them.
Well,
do
yeah,
they
that
have
one's a given.
oh yeah, I mean it's implied. It's
Yeah,
implied. Fellas,
Huh.
this was a really good beer week. I love porters. This week always reminds me of how much I enjoy porters.
same. I thought I was struggling too, and like I couldn't find a lot of good options. And then I had a flashback like last night, like a Vietnam flashback, as I was like regretting my life choices of being a Patriots fan. Um, joking. I know we had a lot of success for a long time. It's just hard to watch Drake May get murdered, um, on a weekly basis. Anyway,
We should have. I'm gonna message Drake May and see if Drake May will come on the pod. Maybe he'll carry us like he carries the Pats right now.
dude, I would, I would kiss him through the screen.
I'm gonna message him right now.
Okay, you should. But anyway, I remember I physically looked dead in the eye a porter that many people have recommended to me and that I've heard of a lot, from a place in Wisconsin. And I looked at it and I said, no, that's like not fitting what I need today. Um, at Total Wine, and I just left and I was just thinking about that. I'm like, I like that's a beer I would have liked to talk about because multiple people have recommended it to me.
So you were just giving a finger to all those people.
Yeah, I was too caught up. I found a beer that I'd been meaning to try next time I went back to New England, called Lunch, like the
Oh,
meal,
nice. Yeah.
from Maine Beer Company. It's like my cousin's favorite beer. And so I like immediately texted him. So I was still riding the high of like, holy shit, I found a bottle of lunch. I'm gonna drink lunch.
No, I understand that. I can get that. I think sometimes it's easy to get. Sometimes I think it's easy to approach it and be like, this is what I want to talk about on the podcast. You have like a vision for it. And so sometimes you get like kind of focused in that.
Well, I kind of had a brain fart going into this week too because I had gotten a flight at a brewery that will be named in my review. Um, and I was out with Chaz and Kat, two dear friends of mine, and I had ordered that porter. I'm like, oh yeah, perfect. This will be one of my tastings. Um, so the flight arrived, and I'm like, I can't forget to do a first sips video with this.
And he
And then
forgot to
I
do first
started
sips.
try it. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm gonna have to do a follow up and just mention like I already took my my first sip of it. And then I finished it and never did a video for that one. So
That's a classic right there.
I feel like it would just be such a good time to have someone narrate you, Luke.
What was was it Porter's when you couldn't say the name of the beer or whatever? Was it our first Porter episode? Right, it's you
oh
and Matt in that video. What was the beer that you couldn't say the name of? And there's like 14 outtakes
oh
of it.
wait, no, I think you're right. It was over at Rising Storm.
Yeah.
It was whatever it was. Oh,
There's
night.
video of it somewhere.
Yeah, it's somewhere. We'll have to scroll back a bit,
It's
but
out on the interwebs.
Yeah, blackmail.
What porters did you guys actually remember to taste this week?
who wants to go first?
You're both staring at me, so I
Oh,
guess it's me.
yeah. I
Uh,
guess so.
so I've got from Third Space Brewing here in Milwaukee, Mocha Java Porter. This is like kind of one of their core beers. Like they have this very regularly. I've never had it from them, and so I was like, why not a good day to try it? Um, this was exactly as advertised, I would say. It was very coffee on the nose and on the tongue. Especially as you first sip it, you get those like kind of like bitter coffee notes, and it stayed bitter throughout. When it says like a mocha Java, it really tastes like cocoa and not chocolate.
Hmm.
Like, when you get like when you're like a kid and you're like, ooh, cocoa powder. This is just like eating chocolate. And then you're like, oh, um,
Those are the best videos, by the way.
yeah, the chocolate powder, the cocoa powder challenge.
Yeah.
Um, but I gave this a 4 out of 5. I thought it was really good. As someone who like enjoys a good mocha latte as a coffee beverage, I really like the interplay of coffee and cocoa. I typically add like coffee or espresso powder to like when I make things with chocolate because it makes the flavor better, if you ask me. And this beer was 7% ABV, but I wrote in my review that it felt like a 5% or maybe even like a 4.5, like sitting around a fire or whatever on like an evening such as this in the fall, winter. I could definitely crush a sixer of them.
Oh, I bet you crush a lot of sixers of them.
Yeah, it's funny because when I think of this beer style, because I think I think I mentioned this on one of the brown ale episodes that we had, but that um my buddy Zach described brown ales as being more palatable porters and stouts. I think, and this is a great opportunity now that we're getting into the colder months to actually test this theory. But I honestly think that porters are not that far of a stretch for people that are trying to branch out a little bit. Like they may not have to take that like brown ale route. They could just start with a porter, something lighter, like with a lighter mouthfeel, like some porters might have.
I've
I
had browns that are heavier than porters before too.
Mm.
That's what I was gonna say. Is I feel like even though I feel like we've so closely linked porters and stouts, I almost think a lot of porters are closer to brown ales than they are to stouts. Like I think just the lightness, like I don't know, I think I enjoy a lot. Not to say that there's not a place for a big, fat, heavy beer that just sits in you like a rock. We love those too.
That's a separate
Jenny Cream
compartment.
Ale?
I
Oh,
just bought
sits in you like a rock. Oh,
I just I just purchased a 12 pack of Jenny Cream Ale while I was over the border in Illinois.
oh
gotta,
yeah, baby.
gotta.
See, I can only ever find it in 30 racks around here, and I really just I feel a little greedy with that in my fridge. Because it's just me drinking it. Gandalf doesn't help. Sophie doesn't
tell him,
help.
tell him to get his shit together. Start drinking some creams.
He hates beer. He took a sip of like when Sophie and I first started dating, she had like beer in a glass and like he stuck his head in it and she's like, I'm just gonna watch and see what happens. And he took like two sips of it and then like pulled his head out and like stared at her for the rest of the night like she fed him literal
Like,
poop.
what the fuck
Like
did
it
you give
wasn't
me?
his choice to try that.
Yeah, exactly.
Ungrateful cats. It's okay.
Honestly.
We'll excuse him.
Yeah.
Luke, do you want to
Um,
go next?
yeah, that sounds good. Well, I'll reveal now the name. I know everybody's been thinking nonstop about it since I just teased it, but I'll reveal the name of the brewery, and that was OK Beer Company over in Honeyway Falls, New York.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, it's better than okay, I say, but it's just okay because that's in the name. So, um, they were underselling themselves, I think. I gave it a 3.75. This was the appropriately named Toasted Porter. That's it. No
That's fair.
fancy dancy. It is what it advertised. 4.5% ABV, so it is a lower ABV
Huh.
porter. Light mouthfeel, not a ton to take on at all. As far as porters go, I think this feeds right into what we were maybe arguing about. Might not be that much of a stretch if people want to branch out a little bit. Um, this beer is certainly one that I would recommend. It's obviously not a high ABV, which is reflected in its very light but toasty taste. And I felt it was malt heavy, but very inviting, as you might imagine something with that low in ABV would advertise. So that was very good. It was a wonderful addition to my flight. I'll say it that way.
It's just help get you off the ground.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Raise the flaps.
Yep.
um, I was I don't know. I guess I was a little bit surprised to hear 4.5%. I feel like I usually think of porters up over at least like 5.5, but I guess that's not necessarily true, especially if they're staying pretty light. I guess, right?
Yeah. Yeah. This well, and also the brewery itself is freaking awesome. It's I don't know, Keegan, if you remember this or Donnie, if it was around when you were going to college here, but the old Clover Lanes, I think it was called
Oh
Clover
yeah,
Lanes or something over in
Yeah.
Honeyway Falls. It's now been
right.
converted into, I mean, it's still a bowling alley, but it's got a brewery slapped on the side of it, and so they run the joint together, and it's very groovy and retro,
That's cool.
and
I like that.
yeah, it's a fun spot for sure.
Yeah,
It's just
I
cool vibes.
yeah, and I agree with you too, Keegan. Like when I think about as, this is where I go into the beer nerd thing of like making beer. Like those malts that fucking you use when you make a porter, there's a lot of sugar to be turned into alcohol there, you know? It's so like it's almost like harder to make it less ABV.
Right.
Which speaking of ABV, we my good friend Andy and I picked he had a long layover today in Chicago, so I picked him up, took him out for a beer. Went to a place called Noon Whistle. They do a thing on Mondays. $5 beers, anything under 8% ABV.
Oh, that is sick.
Yeah.
Wait, say that one more time.
$5 beers on Mondays and Tuesdays, I think, actually, at Noon Whistle Brewing in Illinois that I went to today. But it just has to be under 8% ABV.
It's not too shabby.
Yeah, it's like that, and then like some of their like specialty beers. Like when the beer Andy had, it was like it was like a mango fruited beer. Um, but that didn't count as it, and it's like whatever. Oh no, I paid $7. Ooh. But I think that was really, really cool. Like because there's some places where it's like, oh no, you can only have like this list of our beers, but it's just anything under 8%. Like
Listen, they're just trying to keep it reasonable. They're trying to keep it responsible.
on a Monday, yeah. That's why I drank like a 7.4% AB IPA.
Uh,
What do you got, Keegan?
So I'm just pulling up my review now. This is the one I'm drinking right now. It's called Vanilla Ice Porter.
Whoa.
oh,
Yeah, Ice Porter.
Ice
It's
Ice
from
Captain.
Stable. Are you ready, kids?
Ice Ice Porter. That's our SpongeBob themed brewery of our
Exactly.
locations.
Listen, once BTDT Brewing takes off, we're going themed, I think.
I think each location we have has to be a different theme.
I think it works. So this is from Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. It's a 6.5% vanilla porter. I thought it was good. I gave it a oh, my phone. I gave it a 3.75. I thought it was a really solid porter. To me, like I didn't get as much vanilla as I was expecting to get. So in some ways, I think it was not detrimental to the beer because it's still a good beer. But I think if there was a little more of that vanilla, like I think it elevates it to another level. Super smooth as we'd expect. Obviously, it's that maltiness that kind of takes over most of the flavor. I guess I was just expecting a little more roundness with some vanilla at the end. Not to say that there's none. There's just less than I was maybe than I was hoping for. But again, this I wouldn't say this beer was a letdown by any means. Still, again, a 3.75, like good beer, very good beer. I'd be happy to drink it again.
I think vanilla is a very good flavor to pair with anything coffee or chocolate related, which I know is, the flavor that those beers throw off a lot of.
mhm.
Um, and I think it's just like you said, Keegan, it helps round it out and like make it a very cohesive flavor in your mouth.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, again, not that I feel like I'm talking about this beer like I didn't like the beer. Like it was still a really good beer, but I feel like it could have taken even a step up. But no, I mean, I recommend it. I would definitely try other stuff from Stable 12. It was solid. Can't complain too much.
You said they're based out of Pennsylvania,
Phoenixville, Pennsylvania.
Phoenixville. Hmm.
Yep. Right next to Griffinville.
And then Gryffindorville,
Gryffindor.
Dumbledoreville. Uh, no,
Every
I
5 years or so, the whole town burns down and then it's just built back up.
Yeah.
yeah. I do think too, like, uh, it's one of those things. Like, I think you have a predisposition to liking porters, Keegan. So, like, you always say, like, you get one for being water or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
so it's like for you, it's like you probably get 3.5 for being a porter.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very
And
true.
it's like so like a 3.75 for you, and you're like, well, I was expecting this to be to knock your socks off.
I'm not
It
wearing
has to do
socks, Donnie.
So
me
they've
neither.
already been knocked off.
I don't think
They
I've
Then
worn
what's the
were.
socks.
375 rating about?
I would go so far as to say I don't think I've worn socks for a single recording I've done of this podcast.
We're just relaxed, you know? We're just chill guys.
Yeah.
Just chill, guys.
That meme came back randomly. That meme was like it was a thing like a couple months ago.
But I
I
don't
still
remember.
don't get it.
I don't
He's
remember
just a
being.
chill guy, Luke.
He's just a chill guy. Oh yeah. I don't remember that specific version of it. I remember the Kevin James like hands in his pockets, like
No, that guy like came out. This was a couple months ago. Maybe I just had visions of the future.
you just have your finger to the pulse of meme world.
Yeah, I'm just too online. No, but I remember that, but I have no clue. Like I feel bad because the artist is like getting pissed off because it's like all these brands are using my artwork now, and these companies that have billions of dollars, and they're not crediting me or paying me to use my artwork.
Well, who's the artist? We'll
Oh,
shout him out on here.
Sophie follows him on Instagram. My friend Lucas follows him on
We're
Instagram.
gonna
That
shout
would
out that
be
Little
artist.
guy
that would be
artist.
so funny if we just talked about how all these companies aren't doing it, and then we
Philip
brush
Banks.
past this and never come back to give the guy credit.
Philip Banks. Shout out Philip Banks.
Philip
Philip, we'd
Banks,
love
you're
to
the
work with
man.
you. We will not pay you to use your artwork.
We can't pay
We
ourselves.
will pay you an exposure. We
And
will pay
love.
you like if you're in Milwaukee, I'll take you out for a beer. Um, just like has to be under 8% ABV.
Happy hours only.
We just got to print him out at like a voucher or something, like a free
Yeah.
beer or a token, like a lot of bars do,
Yeah, exactly. Like one free beer under 8%.
with
Uh,
his artwork on
but mirrored.
it.
No, it's no, it's not yours. I edited it. It's fair use.
Well, the shout out Phil Banks, Philip Banks.
Yeah. PB, as they call him.
PB,
You
if you
don't
will.
think
Yeah.
he's I'm finding it a little suspicious that this gentleman's last name is Banks, this artist's, because I happen to know of a Banksy that makes a shit ton of money off of artwork.
Of destroying his own artwork in public.
Yeah, it's freaking cool. Have you guys ever looked into that stuff?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, I've seen original Banksy. I saw an original Banksy when I was in New York one time.
Holy crap.
Mhm.
Yeah, if you guys aren't aware of what this is and what this guy does, um, please look him up. Look up Banksy artwork, and it is wild. And his stuff goes for a lot of money.
He was that guy, Keegan. It was like an original that went at an auction and it was set to like it was set to destroy itself, like if it was ever sold or whatever. And so like it
What?
literally like had like a shredder built into it and it just like shredded the artwork.
Oh my God. Wait, that's
Yeah,
kind of sick.
dude, this guy is wild.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. And like no one knows who they are. Um like
Well, they're
it
Banksy.
yeah. I'm trying to think. I found
Oh crap, he solved it.
oh shit. I never thought of
This
it
is
like
what
that.
this is why law enforcement needs to be defunded because I just solved the whole thing in 3 seconds.
Yeah, that's the takeaway here.
That
Yeah.
yeah.
Like Minneapolis wasn't gonna have cops anymore.
And that all came from Banksy. We know
Yeah, defund the artists.
Yeah,
it.
I think we should push to take money away from the arts.
Personally, we're not going too far away from that mindset is the sad thing. Um, anyway, this beer I just tried on this podcast, the Santa beer, notable number in my beer drinking. This is my 585 beer.
Shout out a
Oh!
585, baby.
Woo,
I
woo,
was
woo.
I wish I had planned it better to have it be a Jenny Cream, honestly. But I guess that'll be my next beer that I drink on this podcast because it's a short week for me and fuck it, I don't have anything better to do than to destroy my liver.
Yeah, man. In the club.
In the club, we all drinking beers.
It gets expensive.
Dude,
Insurance doesn't like us.
what was it? Andy was telling me one time they went to like a club. They literally went to like a club or like somewhere on his one of his work trips in Malaysia, which they go there for 2 weeks. So it's like they have a week, they have like weekend that they can go like have fun in Malaysia. And him and
That's
his coworkers
wild.
went, and the place only served beer. You could only like you couldn't order just one beer. You had to order like a bucket of like six. And so each one of them just ordered a bucket. And the thing is, the only thing they like in Malaysia, their beers, it's Carlsberg, which is I think the Danish beer,
Yeah,
right?
it's
The
Yes.
green
it's
can.
European, yeah.
Yeah, so they all that's all they drink is fucking
Oh my
fucking
God.
Carlsberg. It's
They should do that
amazing.
at Vinyl.
That place is still open.
I don't know. That place scared me. I went once and I thought I was gonna leave without my shoes.
Why?
My
Because they were going to be stuck to the floor.
Yep.
Ugh.
There's a place like that in Milwaukee. It is like you can't go to the back half of the bar because it's just so sticky for some reason.
Oh, dude. Henrietta Hots, the old Henrietta Hots had the opposite problem where it wasn't sticky, it was slimy. So you could see you would leave footprints as you walk through that place if you looked at it in the light. Yeah.
No, what it reminded me of is like when you like your shoes are wet from like that slush, like not snow, but like brown slush,
Yeah.
and you walk through and like that's the kind of feeling, but it was like almost warm.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, I forgot about that. Like I think I was just used to doing it. Like I don't think I ever like thought about it. I was just used to it because you walk in, you're like, yeah, that's what it should feel like under my feet
That's
here.
that's what a hot place should feel like. That's what they put on the hots, like in the hot sauce.
I knew I was home when when one of the last times I remember going there before they moved locations, changed names, all that crap. Was the cook coming out of the kitchen to join in a fist fight that was going in on in front of the place.
It's Henrietta's a beautiful city. I don't know why people dislike
Yeah,
it.
food capital of Monroe County, baby.
Hmm. And I'm about to go get another beer to be the beer capital of my stomach. If you can imagine, boys, the mayor of was it is the mayor of Beer Town in my stomach is the Jancy Cream Ale.
Yeah, yep, that's fitting. A landslide election
Yeah.
determined.
Brewed for generations even.
Wait, is that on a can?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Fuck yeah. Wait, that's dope.
I know. I'm getting this whole ta can tattooed. I'm gonna do my whole forearm is just gonna look like a Jenny Cream can.
Oh,
Listen, I think it's fair. Got to pay homage to a legend.
true.
I do like the updated graphics that they did a couple years ago, like when I first moved out here. Like the mostly white bodies with the colored accents for the three core beers. I think it's really, really good.
Yeah,
Well, it makes calling it a Jenny Red Eye that much easier.
it, that is the king of beer. You've got the three kings and their I don't
Well,
know, they wouldn't be
it,
disciples, they'd be
it's
subjects, but
really an oligarchy of beer.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
whatever
love
that
Genesee.
means.
You wouldn't get it, Donnie. You weren't a soft science major.
No, I was hard as science. For those who didn't see, I did a swag pose.
um
No, I know what those things are.
No
I
offense.
just Googled them.
just did a quick search on my phone and I am abreast of the situation. um I have at this point, and I think this year solidified myself as a bit of a beer scavenger. I'm realizing that the majority of the seasonal beers that I consume happen when I can get them cheaper after that official season ends. Because I have just been entrenched in fest beers and Oktoberfests recently for no good reason. We are just like fully out of that into like winter warmer. And then I'm sure I will start having the pumpkin beers in excess
In
in a very
January.
short time.
That's awesome. I like
Yeah,
that, Luke. You're
I don't
you're a
know.
value play.
At this point, I have to keep doing it. I have appearances to uphold.
I mean, can we be surprised though from the man who found 46 mini fridges?
at
Yeah.
at most at one time 11, all in good working order, and none of them
And
any
all filled
longer in
with
my
beer.
possession.
We're proud
Uh,
of you, Luke. But no, I like that. I I wish I was like that. I feel like I try too hard to jump on the trends early sometimes.
You're a trendy guy.
yeah.
Yeah. I do all the TikTok trends.
Well, see, that just means you have good reflexes. You're able to adapt quickly. You're able to turn real quick and face those trends head on. Whereas I get blindsided by them after they've already passed.
Three years prior.
And I play catch up.
Ooh, a little porter. Ooh, a little Märzen. Ooh, a little Festbier.
Ooh, a Kolsch.
Yeah, Luke, that's
When
why
is
you end up
Jenny breaking the
drinking.
ruby red again, guys?
That's why you end up drinking like stouts in the summertime. It's just because that's what you have in the fridge because they were cheaper.
Yeah, I'm like making myself sick, having heat stroke and stuff. You guys are like, Luke, just drink what's in season,
Oh,
please.
it was cheaper.
This was in my fridge still.
That's what I'm doing. I'm clearing out my Oktoberfest. This Meritzen. It's good.
There we go. See,
Yeah.
Keegan, you're right in tune here.
I've been in like a beer accumulation like fever the past like 2 weeks, and I don't know why.
You're
I just keep,
nesting.
I
I
just,
was just gonna say you're stocking up for the winter.
I just can't like, I can't stop. Like I just, because it's like, oh, for the podcast, I need to go find porters, and it's like, oh, well, the little carrier has 6 spots in it, so why don't I fill them all? And then it's like, oh, I have this recipe to make a mac and cheese, and she suggests a porter or a brown ale or an amber. Sorry, I burped. Uh, and so I guess I gotta get those, but like the amber I want only comes in 6 packs, so I guess I gotta get the Kettle Logic, you know?
Well, that's the thing of like some of the beer stores around here, because luckily I found these actually by Caitlin where we were this weekend. Um, most of the beer stores by me, they sell them in 4 6 pack, like 4 or 6. And I'm like, I don't need 6 of this beer. Like I just want one. I want a single beer. So I'm not spending $25.
I
Yeah,
know
that's why I try and stock up when I can on singles.
we got to look around for a place that's got singles for you there, Keegan, but not a place for singles. If you catch my drift, you are a man engaged at this
Engaged to be
time, and
married,
we
even
do not do that.
not
Yeah.
engaged in combat or the troths of alcoholism.
Well, no.
Well, yeah, well,
I'm trying to
Totally
cover
have.
it up, okay?
all right. Well, listen, I want to kick it up a notch. I want to get a little more formal because it's a black tie event.
I'm not
Whoa.
wearing a tie to your wedding.
Yeah, shorts
Caitlin
are
might
okay,
strangle
right,
me.
Keegan?
um, so this is black tie. It's a porter from Torch and Crown Brewing Company in the Bronx, home of home of the World Series losing New York Yankees.
The Yankees lose.
Go Yankees lose. Yep. I enjoyed this beer. I gave it a 3.5. I thought it was just a very stock porter. So Downey, I think you're right that my porter scale just kind of starts at 3.5 because this was just a very it's a porter. And they don't call it anything but that. It's just a porter. It has all of it, it's very light bodied still, but again, that roastiness, that bitterness that you're expecting, it kind of checks all of the boxes of what I'm looking for in a porter, and I'd say it does it. It's not like exceptional, but it's definitely not a bad beer by any means. Um, yeah. So black tie. So never be afraid to get a black tie because I have 4 more in my fridge because they only sell 4 times. Three more.
Sweet.
They sell them in 5 packs.
They sold, yeah, this one they sold in 5.
No, I think there's some like for me, I like it when it's like a relatively like I won't say generic beer, but like kind of a no frills beer. But it at least has like a cool name and like can art and like branding on it, you know.
For sure. For
You
sure.
know, like that's what makes it stand out, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, you drink with your eyes.
Unless you're colorblind.
Oh, you had to go there.
Sorry,
You son of a gun.
I'm just
Luke,
mean
what
today.
what color am I holding up?
I don't know. I'm also blind. I don't want to talk about it.
Um,
Yeah, no, but I agree. When I want to be blown away, it's when I have a flight or a tasting beer. If I'm going to just drink, I want something standard. So occasionally, if I can find something that's enjoyable but not so frilly, I'm I'm usually fine with that.
you know what's funny is like this beer to me. So we talked about it here before because when we went to Saratoga and we were mixing, actually we talked about it last podcast when we were mixing the blueberry, the UFO blueberry with that stout that you had or the porter that you had.
Yeah.
Um, that was delicious. This I think would be a good beer to make a concoction with. I think because there's nothing crazy about it. It's a very very good base, and I think it gives you a lot of options.
You know what? You're
Cool.
dropping in that next, right?
What?
One shot of Shankies, maybe two.
Yeah.
Hey,
The beer game has
Dude,
luckily,
elevated.
I've turned Sophie onto that. Like I am fascinated. I'm glad you guys recommended that to me, and then I just bought it. Because like I do think it is like the vanilla flavor there. Really just you can add it to just about anything.
yeah.
I
Actually,
agree.
I could definitely add it to this black tie. That's a really good idea.
Thank you. I'm patenting it.
No, no, no. Keegan, do it quick before he can get the patent.
I have lawyers.
No, no. I should say you have time. Patents take a while.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, so that sounds like actually something I'm definitely gonna try. Maybe that's what I'll do is I'll just start finding beers and just start tossing a shot of Shankies in it just to see what happens.
The Shank we'll do a Shankies episode in like Drake's
No.
the Drake like just the middle of fucking January and we have nothing else to look forward to.
Yeah, we're doing dry January with NA beers, and it's just Shankies mixed with NA beers.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
we
forgot
just
about the
completely
January. Okay,
we
okay,
just
February when we
completely
become
defeat the purpose.
We're not drinking alcoholic beers though.
man, this thing would taste
Oh.
great as a 4.5 percenter. That's what we do for one episode. We drink NA beers and say what ABV we think it should be.
If I could add alcohol to this, I'd make this a four and a
If I
half.
I'd add this much vodka.
In fact, I
No,
did.
I added this much vodka.
You just get Everclear so it's like close enough to like 100%. So then you could just really do like, oh, 4%. I just add 4% by weight, right?
I just
Oh,
sprayed hand sanitizer in it. It worked fine.
I lost sight. We were in the lab the other day and we have ethanol for the chemistry that I work with.
started doing
And my
shots.
no, my coworker, she went and came back with like a big like fucking beaker full of it. She's like, "You want some of the good stuff?" And I'm like, "You have children." I'm I'm like, "I would shit myself if I drank that. That would just hurt."
You put a little drop of food coloring, you imagine it's a flavor, it's all good.
Smells like a flavor.
Dude, I I watched this video last night of this guy. He like had a bunch of Sprite and then he put in I can't remember what else he put in, but then he put some dried ice in it and it started going crazy and then he took a sip of it and immediately started holding his head and it was like a McDonald's Sprite. I'm like, we need to stop. The internet is done. We got to turn it off for a
So he
couple of
was
months.
making his own McDonald's Sprite
Yeah, I think so. He was doing
because like
something.
like yeah, because dry ice is just carbon dioxide.
Yeah, I don't
So
know.
McDonald's
I
Sprites are
don't know what
crispy
happened.
though.
you could fry chicken in that shit. Dude, that's it feels different when you drink a McDonald's Sprite.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do different.
I try not to do it anymore.
I couldn't tell you last time I went to McDonald's. Actually, I do. It was when I was in Poland.
Dude, Polish McDonald's has to be
Yes.
a whole nother experience.
I usually get they have this like pork sausage like breakfast sandwich thing that's really really good. It's on like a nice seeded bun with some good lettuce and a fuck ton of mayonnaise.
Dude.
The crazy thing is, I feel like McDonald's in other countries like isn't McDonald's.
It is like like you feel like you're at McDonald's.
But then you're getting food that's like twice at least the quality of what you get
Well,
here. I feel like
I think it's important to note it's not killing you as fast.
that's the
Yeah,
key. That's the
Like the
key. It's a
American one,
slow.
you just can't even recognize the bun as real bread.
that's Subway. Subway bread is like legally
Oh yeah,
cake.
dude. Ugh.
I think so. Like by like the Geneva Convention, like they have to classify it as cake. That was that what that was about, right?
It was
Something like
something
that.
about that.
Listen,
No, what it
Geneva, New
was,
York was up to a lot of stuff. So
I'll tell you what the Geneva Convention really was about. It was about safe passage between the nations. And my beer is
Oh,
called Safe Passage, from the Fermentorium. This is an
oh,
American style porter. Um, Fermentorium, they're just in Cedarburg now. They used to have another location that I really wanted to go to this year. And then they closed down randomly. It was called their Vinyl Lounge, and there was like vinyl records and shit there.
hmm.
Um, anyway, this was like so when you say like a no frills porter, Keegan, this one like it sounds very unassuming. This was the hoppiest porter I've ever drank.
really,
And I say that in a good way. Like it
That's
was
weird.
super smooth and like it was bright and floral almost with those dark malt flavors.
That's so interesting.
It
that's
was
really cool.
like it's so unassuming. And it was like it was just something that I couldn't like quantify it. Like I was reading their descriptions and like what they did with it. And it's like, yeah, it's like floral and aromatic and a little bit of fruitiness to it. Like I just couldn't imagine like I couldn't imagine that when I picked up this can and go, American style porter. That's cool. I usually hear of English style porters. Let's try it. I gave this a 4.5 out of 5. This is another one that I could put down, like or put back, I should say.
Yeah,
Uh
don't put it down.
no.
Don't put it down till it's empty, as they say.
Yes. That's basically what I did. It was just it was such a good beer. You'll see in my first sips, I just really didn't know. I was like, oh, that's like really good. Like it didn't smell crazy. But the flavor was just complex and it was so well rounded and balanced. And it was like you would have a hard time telling me exactly that it was a porter if you drank it.
Dude, that's going on the to-do list, to drink list.
Yeah.
Hmm. Well, what was the ABV?
It's like 6%.
Huh.
Oh, so is it like
Okay,
a
cool.
sneaky 6% though?
Yeah, like it. So what? Let me look at this. 6%, 25 IBUs. And like this is their description of it. Safe Passage is an American porter brewed with a healthy ratio of caramel malts to balance the rich roast flavors of chocolate and coffee. The use of the hops lend a unique floral note to the nose and give just enough character to satisfy dark beer drinkers and hopheads alike. Crafted with care, Safe Passage is sure to take you and your senses on a beautiful journey.
Dude,
That
that
was
sounds like the
beautiful.
most amazing combo. It just
It's
sounds like the perfect middle point between two very distinct groups of beer drinkers.
Yeah, and like I said, it is like the hoppiest porter I've ever drank. And I mean that like it wasn't like it's not like the IPA like dank hoppiness. Like it's just I don't know how else to describe it.
Damn it. See, this is one of those occasions where it is hurting me not to know what like that truly tastes like. I need it. I'm booking a ticket.
Yeah, 4.5 out of 5. Great beer.
Yeah, that's a solid rating. But I'll be the judge of that whenever I get out there to see you.
If they're still making it, well, they're not making it anymore. If there's still some left,
No, they are making it.
Uh,
Their location is still out. Like they're still there. They
Oh,
just they just went from two brew pubs to one.
oh, all right. That's a relief then.
Yeah, no, they're still around.
Um, my second tasting porter comes from the Ellicottville area, and that's 42 North Asylum Porter. Um, named after the Richardson, which is the supposedly haunted hotel that we stayed in for my cousin's wedding over in Buffalo. So I thought that was pretty cool, and I found that out after I had already ordered it.
Nice.
And I got a free beer out of it because they brought a different 42 North beer to me beforehand. So,
Because you've had a 42 North beer before, right?
yes. Wait a
One of the
minute.
two of you has, I feel like.
Yes. Let me let me
I'm
see.
looking them up to see what I've had, if I've had any.
I didn't mean to cause this stir. I'm
No,
sorry.
no, it's okay. We need to do
Ah,
our research here. I want to make sure that I haven't already had. If I've already had this, how embarrassing would that be?
That'd be kind of hilarious.
Okay, no, I don't think I've had this. What was the 42 North that I have
I don't know.
had
I
though?
remember somebody talking about a 42 North beer.
North
probably not
Brewing.
me because I
Oh
don't
no,
really.
it was I know exactly what it was. It was the 42 North Brewing um oatmeal cookie brown ale.
That's the one.
That's yep.
That's the
And I
one.
gave that one a 3.75. This one, however,
What'd you give?
I gave a 4
Ooh,
rating.
Wow.
This was a 6.8 percenter, um, which was surprising to me to learn because I thought it was kind of thin and slight. It was, I describe it as this. It was a thin and slightly bitter coffee on the front end, um, heavier on the front, but still thin and chocolate flavor through the finish. I said there was a strong malt flavor that is inviting, but the mouthfeel wasn't as heavy as 6.8% might um at times advertise. I said the aftertaste was like the day after a campfire. It was faint but stuck in my clothes, both literally and figuratively.
Huh.
So
so you spilled this beer on yourself, is what you're telling me.
no, I just threw that in, but but
Hmm.
it
Oh,
is
good.
not uncharacteristic of me to do. But yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit. Um, plus the whole atmosphere. This place was called the Gin Mill, and it was along that main street there in Ellicottville. Um, and like there was a live band at the time. Everyone was just in a great mood there. It was a good time,
Well,
very
listen,
good time. So.
you can't be mad with live music and alcohol.
Yeah, exactly. Especially this guy. This guy was his name was Davy O, and I think my parents had seen him before. But he was really good. He was doing like a lot of James Taylor. Trying to think who else
Stuff
that
up
he
your
was
alley.
doing. But yeah.
Yeah.
It was right up my alley. That was a lot of fun. It was a good time.
Uh, I was thinking about this as you were talking, Luke. Um, neither one of you guys really like coffee as a beverage.
No,
I do now.
You
I am
do
now
now?
fully a coffee drinker.
Because you guys both really like beers that typically taste like coffee.
I can't explain it. I honestly can't because like I won't. The only time that I've ever had a cup of I got ordered a cup of coffee and had a cup of coffee in my life was after the 999 when I was trying to get that congealed hot dog out of my colon.
That's how they make Oscar Mayer bologna, bro.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was no, that was the only time I've ever had coffee, and it actually wasn't too bad. But I added like four creamers to it.
I usually if I'm ordering a black coffee, it is with half and half usually.
I think I just need to find where they can make coffees that taste like instead of a coffee stout, I need like a stout coffee.
Beer flavored.
You know what I'm talking about? Like give me like a beer flavored coffee. And I think I'll try my best.
When you guys come to visit the coffee shop down the street from me, they do a bourbon barrel cold brew.
Oh
Oh,
my God.
because it's
strong
also a
coffee,
whiskey
but
bar.
I would try that.
Because they also have a lot of whiskey. That's where I go to drink Schlitz.
Wait, I want to go to the
Yeah.
grocery store to drink there.
Well, we can do both in the same day. You can't go during a Packer game. It's usually pretty packed though. I was there in there, or no, I was in there Saturday when University of Wisconsin was playing and the bar was packed. There was no room.
People go to the grocery store for the football game.
Yeah, they got charcuterie boards and shit.
Dude, this place, this place sounds make believe. The not the store where they serve beer, the entire state with which you live, and
It isn't
the
it,
city that you
like
live in sounds make believe.
all of the stereotypes about Wisconsin are way too true, unfortunately. Like you look at you go to some of these places and you're like, yeah, that seems about right. No, it's
Wait, can you can you imagine like if Wegmans had a bar in it?
I'd never leave.
Oh.
I think I'd sleep there.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's a
I would want Trader Joe's to have a bar in it
to make
because
it
I feel like
bearable to
that.
go there.
Yeah. No, I like it there. I feel like they already have the vibes of
They
kind of a cool place.
they have craft beer vibes. They absolutely do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they also have craft beer
Yeah,
because
that
Oh
I had
yeah, I forgot about the
their
Trader
Trader
Jose's.
Jose's. Yeah, and then there
Yep.
were a couple of others, but I wasn't impressed with the Trader Jose's, and it ended up being the beer I used to kill the slugs on my potatoes. So,
no the grocery store I talk about, Grappies, it's like a small, like it's very tight in there. It's like a small local neighborhood grocery store. It's not like a chain or anything.
oh, that's awesome.
But it is very funny. Like, I can't remember what it was. It was some like old fucking. I think it was the Rescue Rangers were on one time when I was there, like the old animated Disney movie. I'm just like drinking beers. I like biked there. I'm drinking beers. I'm looking at the guys fucking behind the meat counter, giving people like chicken breasts and sausages and shit.
Wait, was it the Rescuers?
The Rescuers, yeah.
Oh my
Rescue Rangers
God,
is Chippendale, yeah. The Rescuers.
I remember do you guys remember it might have been the second Rescuers movie. There's like the opening where they're like flying through the Australian, I don't know what environment it was, but I've had so many dreams in my life throughout. Look up the opening of the second Rescuers movie and watch that. That's everyone's homework. And it was like the you hear that Australian. I hope this wasn't a dream because it has
You
been in
dreamt a
my
second
dreams.
movie.
Yeah. It's been in my dreams for so many years since I used to watch that movie. There's something so satisfying about it. I just
No,
remember being
that
a
movie's
kid.
real.
I mean, I was golly, I was young watching that movie, and I would just get up in the mornings, sit down in front of the TV, pop that VHS tape in,
Oh, the
crack open a cold
VHSs.
beer,
I was waiting
and
for the beer crack.
no, I'm just
Pour myself a Shankies on the rocks.
light up my cigar
Yeah.
and watch
Get the
my
hookah
morning
going.
cartoons.
Uh, no, that does sound about right, Luke. I think I know what you're talking about.
No, that movie was freaking awesome.
You know what else is freaking awesome?
Hmm.
When my friends have questions to ask the masses.
I do have a question for the masses.
Okay, let's hear it.
Thanksgiving is this week. So what I want to know is, in general, do you start decorating for Christmas November 1? So like Halloween's over, you take down those decorations, November 1, Christmas is up. Or are you an actual human being and respect the sanctity that is Thanksgiving and you wait until after?
Now wait just a minute. I feel like we have been able to stay impartial on almost every single question that you've posed, Keegan. But
Right.
that ended today.
Yeah, it did. Because Billy Bass will tell you the same thing.
All right, folks, here's the thing. I'm going to level with you. I know in my heart what is right to do as far as which of the two options Keegan listed is the right answer. And truth be told, I may not disagree with Keegan, but it's important that you vote with your heart.
We do have journalistic integrity on this podcast.
I mean, we did, certainly.
Yeah,
I
we
can't
brought
speak to
yellow
the last
journalism
minute
in
and a
here.
half.
No, a woman I work with, her and her husband, take the day off. It's always the first Friday, like the first weekend of November. And like this year happened to fall on like November 1st, but they always take that Friday off of work to decorate their house for Christmas.
No comment at this time. I'm just here so I don't get fined.
So again, I'm not leaving partial. Her justification is she's like, I buy all this fucking Christmas decorations. Like, I would like to have it up for more than 25 days. Which I like. I understand that, and now you get none of you can see my setup right now. I'm fucking decked out in Christmas, bro. I'm like knee deep in snow recording this. There's 14 Christmas trees. Gandalf, I shaved him so he has a Santa beard. He hates me for it.
Donnie's actually dressed up as a reindeer for this podcast.
Yeah.
Yep.
I do so much cocaine in one weekend just so I have a red nose for the rest of the year. I just fucking destroy my body.
He's a man of the people. He's
Yeah.
all for it.
I mean,
Yeah.
hey, if our listeners are going off of direct evidence, we know that you opened the podcast drinking a Christmas themed beer, a
I
Yep.
did.
Santa themed beer, even.
Yep.
I got implants so that way I have a massive stomach.
Dude, beer. All you got to do is just chug beer and it happens naturally.
Don't I know?
I can tell you as a matter of fact that
Say
that will happen.
that's my grandfather, man. That's what he was built like. No, I do have a couple Christmas beers in the fridge, just because they're coming out this time of year, and I'm on top of the trends.
I'm going to
Try to
get
go.
mine sometime, maybe April, May, my Christmas beer.
My thing is like I want to just get them, and like even if I don't drink them right now, I just want to make sure that like I've had them this time of year,
Luke,
before they sell out.
do
Yeah.
you know, either of you, do you know like how Clown Shoes does that like 12 pack of Christmas beers?
Yes.
So I
Clown
drank one of
shoes?
those in June from the Wynn's fridge because they none of them like it. And I was like, well, it's time. It's time. We're 6 months past. We got to get rid of this beer.
The other one that's doing it now is Shiner out of Texas. But all it really is a way for them to distribute more of their beer in one. Like most of the beers in there aren't like special releases. It's just like, yeah, we're just giving it
It's
to the
just
masses now.
standard beers.
So, it's just one of those things. I pick them up as I see them. I got Revolution Fistmas today. I got the St. Bernardus Christmas ale. Love those beers.
Sweet.
Yeah. But what I'm gonna love next week is when we talk about ciders, probably with a
Yeah.
guest, related to Luke.
Yep. My brother Anna.
My,
Is this
brother.
are you revealing new information to us, Luke?
Yeah, wait.
No, excited to talk to Anne. I haven't seen her since I graduated. I haven't seen her in 3 years.
Yeah. Just I mean pretty much just we're just drinking ciders.
Yeah.
That's the grand update. Nope, but there will be more next episode. We'll have a good time. It'll be a family reunion.
Luke, have you not seen Anna in 3 years?